Hello everyone, I am Julian Morris with the Channel 5 News. In the headlines, Dominica's first national consultation on cannabis told it's unanimous. The region wants marijuana legalized. Dominica and China signed post-disaster restoration assistance agreement, and the arrival of a new Norwegian ambassador to Dominica paves the way for greater collaboration on climate resilience. The details coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
Professor Rosemary Bell Antoine was the main speaker at Dominica's inaugural National Conference on Cannabis on Friday. Professor Antoine, who chaired the commission, unpacked some significant findings of CARICOM's Regional Commission on Marijuana. According to Professor Antoine, the commission found that keeping marijuana illegal was ineffective in terms of stopping its use. The Commission's view is that marijuana ought to be legalized and regulated like alcohol. After 4 years of research in the region, the Commission concluded that the current legal regime for marijuana, characterized as it is by prohibition and draconian criminal penalties, is ineffective, incongruous, obsolete, and deeply unjust. The Commission is unanimous in its view that the legal regime governing marijuana cannot be maintained and legal reform should be a priority. The Commission was unanimous in its view that children and young people must be protected from possible adverse effects of cannabis.
I want to say emphatically that I am not sitting on the fence anymore. And after reviewing all of the evidence, looking at all of the laws, listening to people in the region, I am personally committed and quite clear in my mind that the law needs to change. The vast majority of people in the Commonwealth Caribbean also believe that the law is unjust and needs to change. That was a clear message in our public consultations. It's also the message we got from polls that we did. We sort of piggybacked on some of Peter Wickham's polls because he's been polling. He's a social scientist from Barbados. He did polls in several countries. But also we did our own questionnaires, and we had online questionnaires. They probably not as much response as we would like, but again the message was quite clear. So there is, I would say without any doubt, overwhelming support for law reform, moving away from what we call prohibition.
Meantime, the president of the National Youth Council spoke with Channel 5 News prior to Friday afternoon's consultation. Andrea Louis has more on that.
Paul Barron, who heads one of the bodies that looks after the development of the country's youth, is pleased that the NYCD was invited to the public discussion. He says this shows the youth are recognized as one of the stakeholders in this nationwide dialogue, and he plans to make the NYCD's voice heard on this topical issue. Barron pointed out there are a lot of sides to the debate, and each must be weighed carefully while moving forward on this topic.
On one hand, you have the clinical aspect and its medical potential. You have also the economics of it being a good product that can be sold for the sake of obtaining monies and such. And lastly, we have to also be very careful by its usage among young Dominicans. Now, young Dominicans engage in the use of marijuana for recreational purposes, which is understandable. However, I do not think we should introduce marijuana to the very young. And so we have to determine in terms of the decriminalization who is actually, who legitimately or by law is able to use it.
Barron agrees it is time for Dominica to get in on the conversation regarding cannabis as the rest of the world is moving in that direction.
So there's a number of issues surrounding that as it relates to the decriminalization and such. As a rational individual, I would look at both its advantages and its disadvantages and try to find some form of equilibrium. But if that is where the world is going generally, I see no reason why Dominica cannot, form part of the discussion and look at ways in which marijuana or the legalization or decriminalization of marijuana can be a benefit to us as a country and a society.
The first ever national consultation on the decriminalization of cannabis for medicinal purposes was held on Friday.
In other news, Minister for Education Peter Sergent says the re-roofed buildings at the Dominica State College will create a more conducive environment for learning by students. Sergent made the statements during a ceremony to mark the completion of a $3 million People's Republic of China funded project, which saw the re-roofing of 6 buildings of the State College campus.
Today, all 6 buildings constructed by the Chinese government have been fully re-roofed. The government of the Commonwealth of Dominica is indeed grateful, and I must say that a donation like this is an indication of the strength and the nature of the partnership between the government of the People's Republic of China and the government and people of the Commonwealth of Dominica.
Sergent says while the main work, that is the re-roofing, has been completed, there is still more work to be done on the buildings to make them more conducive to learning for staff and students.
There is still some buildings that are incomplete. Among the outstanding works, we still have painting, electrical works, and other ancillary works to be done. But I believe we have come a long way when we think back 14 months ago.
Labor for the China aid-funded project was supplied by the government of Cuba, while the United Nations Development Project, UNDP, was the administering body for the funds from the project.
Many partners in Dominica in late 2017 and early 2018, and some of them are sitting at the back of the room, wrestled with the how and the what of roof restoration. Fortunately, we did this together under the leadership of the Ministries of Housing and Planning to seek common solutions. While we were able to address re-roofing of houses, schools, clinics, and hospital buildings, the Dominica State College was a more demanding challenge. Our engineers said to us, look, we do need special skills for this. We do note the commitment of the government of Cuba, and specifically Ambassador Juan Carlos Formeta de la Rosa, to provide the team necessary for this job.
And an expressed commitment for greater cooperation and a strengthened relationship between Dominica and the Kingdom of Norway. Her Excellency Ingrid Mollestad did so as she presented her letter of credence to President of Dominica, His Excellency Charles Savrin, at the State House this week. Her Excellency said even though the countries are far apart, they have many interests and values in common. She said climate change, sustainable development, and ocean issues are topics of concern to both countries.
Norway regards small island developing states as valuable partners in addressing these global challenges. We do have an active policy to assist small island development states, and we recognize their particular vulnerability in the face of these challenges. And also the special situation you are in, as was so tragically illustrated during last year's hurricane season when Maria hit Dominica so hard. We did contribute to the humanitarian phase, and we will continue to be a partner for this country and other small island development states in times of need. In the Caribbean, we are actively looking into possibilities for increased cooperation in areas such as clean oceans and marine litter. The Nordic countries and CARICOM have signed a memorandum of understanding, and I think this might be a useful framework for further cooperation. To conclude, Your Excellency, allow me to emphasize the strong importance that Norway attaches to the United Nations. Climate change is on top of our agenda. We spend 1% of our GNI on official development assistance, and we seek to contribute to conflict resolution, peace building, as well as to ODA and humanitarian assistance. We are now a candidate for a non-permanent seat in the Security Council, and we would hope to be able to count on Dominica's support and we are committed to being a reliable and constructive partner for your country and for other SIDS should we be elected to this forum.
Dominica and Norway established diplomatic relations in March 2001. President Savre accepted the ambassador's letter of credence and expressed hope that cooperation would be explored in renewable energy, hydroelectricity, agriculture including fisheries, and information and communication technology.
Norway recognizes the vulnerability of small island developing states in understanding and responding to the impacts of natural phenomena, and has therefore signaled its intentions to partner with SIDS to address these global challenges. Climate change is the most significant challenge to achieving sustainable development and a serious threat to our livelihoods and our very existence. It is an issue that requires solutions that need to be coordinated at the international level to assist developing countries move towards a low-carbon economy, to increase investment opportunities in renewable energy and energy efficiency, to improve waste and water management, and to better plan for rapid response mechanisms when disasters strike.
The President and Ambassador also exchanged gifts of books on the history of both countries. You're watching Channel 5 News. We'll have more after the break.
Imagine you have Hollywood at your command. Introducing Flow Evil.
Red cheese, gold rings, all black, everything creeping through the night.
Anywhere you are.
Big girls don't scream hard like Halloween, make me feel alive.
There's a world of entertainment here, and you run the show. Flow Evil.
The government of Dominica and the People's Republic of China have signed a post-disaster restoration assistance agreement. Here again is Andrea Louis with more.
The signing ceremony, which took place on Friday, marks the completion of a PRC $3 million roof repair project which spanned the country. After Hurricane Maria last year, China provided $3 million to go towards roof repair projects in Dominica. The aim of the PRC government was to have hundreds of Dominicans benefit from the roof repair project, which saw the covering of private homes, educational facilities, and health centers.
Just 10 days after the Hurricane Maria, the Chinese government signed the agreement with UNDP to donate $3 million, which we used for the procurement of roof materials, tools, and the basic equipment for the restoration of roofings, which are most urgent buildings in Dominic after the impact of Hurricane Maria. The roofs not only provide a physical shelter in wind and the rains, it also gives people a sense of security psychologically. We are happy that the project has now been completed and achieved a great success.
Deputy Prime Minister Reginald Austrie says this gesture by the People's Republic of China further deepens the already friendly bilateral relations between the two countries.
But we cannot hide or shadow the contribution made by the People's Republic of China in getting us to this state where we are right now. And to say to you that this is not the first time when the People's Republic of China really coming to the aid of Dominica in very difficult times and in very difficult circumstances. And Ambassador, we want to thank you and to have you express our gratitude to your government and your people for they themselves having to make great sacrifices to ensure that Dominica can be in a better place.
The buildings re-roofed under this project were the Dominica State College, the Princess Margaret Hospital, 1 preschool, 2 primary schools, 5 health centers, and 472 homes. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
The Dominica Bar Association wants immediate attention given to delays in processing land-related transactions and the issuing of certificates of title in the land registry. This is just part of a list of concerns outlined by the Bar Association during a press conference on Thursday.
Many persons who are in need of their land titles to secure financing for development projects are forced to wait several months and sometimes even more than a year before receiving title for land owned. This is a disincentive to trade, development, and economic progress.
The Bar Association has also appealed to the public to support this cause by persistently appealing to the authorities until all the problems facing the judiciary and the administration of justice are properly addressed.
We call on the Ministry of Justice and the High Court Registry to take the necessary steps to ensure the immediate resumption of the High Court criminal trials. We further call on the government of the Commonwealth of Dominica to request from the Chief Justice the assignment of a second civil High Court judge to the Commonwealth of Dominica in order to reduce the current backlog.
Within 14 months, the government has been unable to repair the roof of the building. When the task was not to completely reconstruct the building, but simply to repair the roof of the building. You know, many persons have repaired their roofs. There can be no excuse, no justification for any government anywhere in the world taking 14 months to repair the roof of a High Court building, of the main High Court building. That simply cannot be justified. So to answer your question, we are saying most definitely the government is failing its duty to the judiciary, to the courts, and to the people.
The Ministry of Justice has announced that arraignments will take place next week in preparation for criminal matters to be heard in January 2019. And an appeal by the Dominica Bar Association to the Chief Justice of the Eastern Caribbean Supreme Court for assistance to respond to the consequences of Hurricane Maria on the judiciary and the administration of justice in the country. The Bar Association has been in communication with the Chief Justice regarding the need for another civil High Court judge as well as other concerns stemming from Hurricane Maria.
We as an association have written to the Chief Justice about the concerns of the Bar Association with what has happened with Dominica post-Maria. We have also spoken to her in relation to the assignment of another judge to Dominica, because we do recognize that there would be a backlog, an increased backlog as a result of Hurricane Maria, where there was already one. And she has pressed upon us and assured us that she would have no problem with assigning another judge to Dominica. That is why we as an association are calling upon the powers that be, the executive arm of the government, that they make the necessary arrangements so that we can have another civil judge sitting here in Dominica.
The association says it has been meeting with the authorities, including Justice Stevenson, from November 2017 in an effort to try and bring back a sense of normalcy within the judicial system.
We are willing to sit to assist, but we think that after 13 months, near 14 months, that the powers that be, with the full largesse of the government, should have done much more than has been done at this stage to get our systems up and running, our judges properly located, and the persons being able to get simple documents, the trial dates from the registry. And also, we need to bear in mind that criminal court, High Court, has not continued, has not commenced since July of 2017. The High Court, criminal court, has not sat.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
L'année signe tout partout. Attention si vous êtes homme et bien femme. Visitez Place Santé pour examiner corps. Ça c'est un nick pour yo wè si la ni pièce moun au lion qui ni maladie TB et ben maladie sexuelle. En compagnie moun qui ni maladie HIV, P ni TB aussi, savent qui la ni guérison pour TB. Ou sa vivre en bonne santé même si ou ni maladie HIV. Parlez by docteur ou, prend responsabilité ou. Aidez du bout de sime maladie TB et HIV. Ou agir tout le monde pour examiner corps yo.
To end the news, a look again at the headlines. Dominica's first national consultation on cannabis told it's unanimous. The region wants marijuana legalized. Dominica and China signed post-disaster restoration assistance agreement, and the arrival of a new Norwegian ambassador to Dominica this week paves the way for greater collaboration on climate resilience. Feel free to contact us at news@mapping2k4.com. You can access our past newscasts on our YouTube channel. On behalf of the production team, I am Julian Morris. Thank you for watching. Do have a good weekend.